The next speaker is with us via Zoom, Insplorion is the company he is CEO of, and they have developed a platform with such a complicated name that I have to read in my script. It's a disrupting proprietary sensor platform, nanoplasmonic sensing, NPS. And Insplorion was with us here last year on the Renewables Summit, and it'll be very exciting to hear how they have grown, how they have developed since last year. So Patrik Dahlqvist, is he with us? Let's see if I can get a thumbs up from the crew here. We have to switch from the other Zoom guests to the new one. And meanwhile, if you want to just stand up, if you're sitting behind your computers at home and just, stretch a bit. Sitting is as bad as smoking, they tell us. So why don't you just stand up and move about a little bit and get some energy up. Now we get a thumbs up. So Patrik Dahlqvist, CEO of Insplorion, the stage and the screen is yours.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the introduction. And let me see if I can get up my presentation here too. Is that okay? So, yes, I'm Patrik Dahlqvist, CEO of Insplorion, where we work with sensor technology for cleaner air, accelerated transition to fossil-free energy, and advanced research in life science and clean tech.
Patrik, we cannot see your screen. We see you.
Oh, you see me?
Yes.
Then let me see if I can share screen again.
Share screen.
There we go, and share. Is that better?
Yeah, that looks. Now we see, yes. Just make sure you hit the little tree symbol. There we go. Excellent, thank you.
There you go. Perfect. Thanks for the notice. Yes, Insplorion, sensor technology. You heard this just right now, right? Who are we? In short, we are a company based in Gothenburg. We are sprung out of 10 years of research at Chalmers University, and we have been around for about 10 years, where our core is our nanoplasmonic sensing technology. And that's a technology that is patented, verified, small and robust, sensitive yet scalable. We today work within 3 business areas where we sell our sensor technology as research instruments. That we have done since the very beginning, with first sales 1 year after we started, where we today have 3 products for both working in air, working in life science applications, and working combined with other technologies. Since about 5 years ago, we also started to miniaturize our technology for gas sensors and battery sensors, where we are working with 2 gas sensors, one for air quality, that is nitrogen dioxide, where we have initiated sales, and one sensor for hydrogen, where we are getting close to commercial prototype by the end of this year. Our battery sensor are a little bit different in the way that they work with fiber optics going inside the batteries. And it's also a little bit still in the development phase. However, as a research tool, it's already used also with, for instance, German electric vehicle manufacturers. But what's the purpose with us and our technology? And the purpose for sensors is that when we have a lot of new technologies and new systems, they all need to be optimized. And you can only optimize if you measure and know what you're working with. And to be able to know that, you basically need sensors. You basically can fix what you can measure, and that's all you can fix. And there are a lot of sensors around, but in a few areas where we are active, current technologies are not good enough. Within hydrogen sensors, fuel cells efficiency can be increased by applying sensors in a more efficient way. It's also needed better sensors for safety, both for vehicles and infrastructure. For batteries, battery packs, they are not at all optimized in their operations, and they can become much more efficient just by measuring and optimizing, both while using the battery as well as in the development phase. And for air quality, especially with cities, but also within ventilation, these systems become are more and more complex, but the way to measure is not up to date, and that's where our technology fits in. These are all large and growing markets. Sensor markets as a whole is in the several hundred billion US dollars. Lithium ion and fuel cells are growing both too, but also a fairly small market comparatively with the city's air quality measurements. Also that is in the billion-dollar size. Looking from the outside, working in all these areas, it can be seen as a little bit mixed, and yes, it is. But from the inside, all of our sensors and our research instruments, they are practically the same. They are all based on the same technology. So from the inside, it's only a variation of the same sensor, basically. And what is this? What is our technology based on? What has been developed at Chalmers University for about 10 years before the company was founded was the way to work and use with nanoparticles and have them to increase an optical signal. Doing this allows us to have a lot simpler electronics around and still get a very sensitive and yet robust signal. So in essence, we are taking a bit of complexity of a sensor and putting it into the nanoparticles, and in that way we can get the rest of the sensor device cheaper in manufacturing, and it gives us a few extra advantages compared to existing technologies. It is a technology that we have patented on. We have 3 patent families, one main patent that covers the technology, and 2 more applied patents with working with the sensor as a gas sensor as well as a battery sensor. Hydrogen. It is starting to be seen as one of the next generation energy after batteries. Batteries can't do everything when it comes to storing energy in an efficient way, where better energy storage is of essence to be able to transfer to fossil-free energy systems. But hydrogen has some problems. It is explosive, and there is an inherent risk tied to it. So strengthening the safety around all hydrogen systems is needed. And it's both for infrastructure as well as for vehicles, but also at production sites and the whole hydrogen economy. And we have the sensor that we have been working with has been developed at Chalmers University of Technology in parallel with the company for more than 10 years. So that we see that we definitely can provide and help in these open areas where existing technologies cannot work. When it comes to making better and more efficient research and development, make operations safer and increase safety around infrastructures. We can do this, and we can strengthen by being the world's fastest sensor. especially when it comes to safety in confined areas. You need a quick response time. If it takes a few minutes to get the signal, or just a few extra seconds, that can be that is not quick enough. So it was during the product when our collaborative part at the university started to get these strong results, with especially bringing up the speed and making the hydrogen sensor more robust, in combination with how the market started to develop for hydrogen sensors for about 1.5 to 2 years ago, that we started to put more efforts into it. What it resulted in is that we started a project together with Chalmers and PowerCell, and where we the reason why we have been able to work quickly with this project is that we can work on the same platform as we have with the air quality sensor that we've been working with for almost 5 years. And in one example how we are trying it out and ensuring that it also fits for infrastructure applications is that we work together with Shell in their energy challenge, where we became finalist. About batteries. It's a boom, especially in driven by electric vehicles, but also tied to energy storage, where batteries become more and more prominent. But batteries, they are expensive. They have low energy density compared to fossil fuels, and there are risks related to fire and explosion also with batteries. Where sensors and our sensor can support and make it more efficient when it comes to cost, basically by getting more energy out of each battery pack, but also efficient when it comes to operation and extend lifetime, as well as increase safety. And in this sense, and the way that we work, we are truly disruptive. The battery project is not anything that we could think out of that was needed. It basically arose by us taking our air quality sensor to Volvo trucks early on, where they started to point us to the frustration that they had when it came to that they were more and more dependent on batteries, as well as that the battery packs were not optimized enough. Basically voltage and measuring and steering only on voltage and column counting and electrical parameters simply isn't good enough to optimize the batteries. And they described how they are working with huge safety areas to ensure that they don't get stop, as well as that they don't hurt the battery and decrease lifetime. But all in all, the battery are not being able to optimize due to the lack of sensors. Where we, in our way of working with it, basically are bringing our sensor inside the battery with a very thin optical fiber. And in that way, we can provide the battery steering system, the battery management system, with a lot more information about what is actually needed and providing information about chemical changes and temperature. And in that way, it becomes possible to get much more out of each battery pack. It is a project that we have that fits to work in collaborative ways, and our way to get contacts and industrial contacts on the market has been through European funded projects, where the two main ones are one that we call INBAT, where we basically are developing the first sensor controlled battery pack together with AMTE Power, previously named AGM Batteries. And the second one is a larger project with 16 different partners. Among them are Volvo and Fiat, for instance, where we are developing the next generation automotive battery, where the sensor control is basically what we are bringing in for the next generation. Fun with our battery project is that even though it's still in development phase, we are running a feasibility study with a global sensor technology company that basically are looking into what the technology can do. And they themselves have also recently bought a BMS company where they see how they can strengthen their existing portfolio with our sensor. We have also started a rental of our instruments together with a battery fiber sensor for a German vehicle manufacturer. So we see how the industry is picking up the interest among what our technology can do. When it comes to air quality, getting better control of our air quality, especially in Asian cities, is a demand that is increased by legislation more and more. The problem is, however, that it today is not possible to get good area maps of the air quality, simply because the way of measuring today is by expensive stations that only can be placed out at a few sites in a city, where there is a need to track on street level and basically each corner to be able to see and optimize the whole city in a much better way. This is a project where we have initiated sales, where we are working together, for instance, with a company called Leading Light, where we, together with their smart lighting, are putting our air quality sensors inside, and in that way can provide cities with a sensor in each street light to not only have smart lighting systems that are energy efficient, but also helps in tracking air quality. We're also working in this project together with IVL, the Swedish Environmental Institute, to be able to rent out and try out our sensors for Swedish municipalities. But we have also seen lately a growing interest in ventilation. It's not only for cities and air quality in that way, but also to optimize ventilation systems, especially in cities where you want to be able to turn on and off ventilation depending on what time it is of the day, how much traffic it is outside, and how the wind is creating the specific problems.
Patrick,
We have started. Yes,
you can hear me, right? You need to round up now because we're running out of your time.
Sure. I'm pretty close. Thanks for the reminder. Instruments, just to mention, it is a way that we have been able to get out globally. And we're working in this way with our instruments so that we can.
I think we lost Patrick. Can you hear me, Patrick?
There's out there.
All right, you froze there for a minute. Yes. All right.
Yes.
Racing through the last images.
So basically, we are a company with a disruptive sensor technology, where we have proven the technology with sales of research instruments, and where we are helping out in solving global problems with air quality, hydrogen, and battery. And have been able to successfully finance the company end of last year. So we have a good battle chest, and we've also brought in international and strategic investors to ensure that we can boost and have a good pace from here on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrik Dahlqvist from Insplorion.